is Jason Wright, and you're listening to Rambling About Washington.
Washington Football Nation. It's your boy Rio, and we are back with another episode of Rambling About Washington for my Rambling with Rio YouTube channel. And as you can tell with the colors, the ticker, and the name of the episode, Washington has lost yet again, 17-10 to a bad football team known as the Denver Broncos and the most pedestrian arm talent quarterback in the history of football, Mr. Teddy Bridgewater. But who am I to judge or pass any type of critique on Teddy Bridgewater when our quarterback situation is the way it is here? It's bad right now, guys. It's really bad. There's not much good to talk about. We could use a distraction or 10 right now. We lost to a bad football team, and once again, we had our chances. The ball moved up and down the field all day. The defense is finally hitting their stride. But Buddy at number 4, Buddy back there calling the shots, he's just not it, man. So we're going to start this episode of Rambling with Rio with, let's all just raise a glass and just pour one out. Pour one out for number 4, Mr. Taylor Heinicke. Mr. Bud Light himself. Let's pour one out. You see, I'm dressed like the Grim Reaper today because I'm here to ring in the death of the season for the Washington football team. We are 2-6, and we're not coming back from that. There's no rally in us this year. There's no we're gonna go on a run. Like, no, it's not happening. Let's be realistic for a second. I'm not sure there's more than 2 wins left on the schedule, and that's being modest at this point. But let's talk about the quarterback, Taylor Heinicke. A fun story it was. The Disney underdog story of the cast-off, the journeyman, the ODU graduate who electrified us in the playoff performance he had last year. It was fool's gold, ladies and gentlemen. It was fool's gold. When you're pushing 29 years old and there's no tape of you, anything good you'll do will be magnified. And the hyperbole and hysteria and thirst for a quarterback will push it up even more. And that's what happened. We went for it. We saw something and we said, you know what? There could be something there because we've never had it. So we're so damn thirsty to have it that we force it on any tiny, microscopic amount of adequacy. Because that's all it was. That's all it was. The thought that Taylor Heinicke could be the long-term starter for this football team, it's not even a conversation I would entertain anymore. It's such a laughable fucking discussion. Taylor Heinicke is Colt McCoy without football awareness, IQ, with happy feet, and with a fucking Bud Light endorsement. That is who Taylor Heinicke is. He will never be a long-term, short-term, any type of solution that has the word starting quarterback next to it. He will never be that in this league. He just isn't. I know the story's great. I know the t-shirts are cool. The dives to the pylon. If he's stuck in between the tackles and forced to make a throw, he will not make the throw. He has easily a bottom 3 arm in the NFL. He does not feel pressure, and he processes defense, and he processes and sees the field and gets through his progressions on the rate of a fucking sloth. That's just not going to do it. Say what you want about coaching. There were coaching blunders. And we're going to get to coaching in just a second. But the biggest reason why we are on a 4-game losing streak is because the goddamn quarterback is not giving us a chance each week. He's not giving us a chance. The ball is walking up and down the field, and he can't do shit in the red zone. Because that's when the defense starts to collapse on him, and he has no fucking idea what to do. Lake Lewis, my guy, friend of the show, friend in real life, my brother, he brought up a good point. He said, I don't know why Scott Turner calls so many offensive plays outside the hashes. So for all of you that would like to pile on Scott Turner, this week there is a critique. Yes, Lake brought it up. Why do you call so many passes outside the hashes? You want to know why Scott probably does that, though? Because he's an NFL offensive coordinator, and an NFL quarterback is supposed to be able to make those throws. Buddy is incapable of making those goddamn throws. Week in and week out, and he makes cornerbacks look like the second coming of Deion Sanders every week, because every pass he throws outside the hashes, it sits there in the air and just floats like we're watching the goddamn Matrix or something. It just sits there. There's no velocity. He doesn't see the field. He doesn't see open receivers. And he can't make a play in the red zone. We've put up 772 yards in our last 2 games and have scored 20 points. 20! Versus a Joe Barry coach defense and versus the Broncos, without half of their damn roster on the injury report. And then I know we can say, oh, but a lot of our players are injured too. Who the hell cares? Who cares? The players out there, they did enough to win this game today, but the quarterback, his ineptness did not give us a chance to win the goddamn game. Even Taylor knows his arm sucks. He hears about it so much that on the final play of the game, instead of giving the receivers a shot to catch a miracle Hail Mary that happens to everyone except for us, he throws the ball in the goddamn stand. So the one time we need his arm to just float one in the end zone, this fucker decides to throw the ball into the 4th row and bless some lucky fan with the NFL football from a bum. Let's pour one out for this underdog story, and let's end it on this. I'm going to go on an apology tour real quick. I'd like to apologize to a few individuals, starting with Kurt Warner, Brett Favre, and Tony Romo. All Hall of Fame talents. And say what you want about Romo. He was a Hall of Fame talent, goddamn. He's not going to go to the Hall of Fame, but check the numbers with Tony Romo in the history of Cowboy quarterbacks and get back to me. But Tony Romo, Kurt Warner, and Brett Favre. People in this fan base on TV had the goddamn nerve, the audacity to compare Taylor Heineke to these guys. This guy, they compared him to these quarterbacks. I owe you the biggest apology from our fan base. Y'all should never be accustomed to being juxtaposed to an inept talent like this. Also, don't quit the fucking narrative that we need to evaluate Heineke like a rookie. No, the hell we do not. But he's almost 30. Buddy's almost 30 years old. So just because he decided to be cast off and he wasn't good enough to hang around the league over the years, that doesn't mean you evaluate him like a rookie. It doesn't. He didn't just get out of college. Well, he did technically, but he didn't just get into the draft. He was in the 2015 draft. Did anyone take him? Hell no. Nobody took him. And there's a reason for it. He has now been with Scott Turner in Minnesota, in Carolina, and in D.C. And he still doesn't master the offense. All I've heard all offseason was how he knows this offense like it's a second language for him. Then why the fuck do you process it so slow? I don't understand. I do not understand at all. But Who else are we going to apologize to today? Okay, I would like to personally issue an apology to Dustin Hopkins. Dustin Hopkins, I have thrown your name through the mud. I've pulled out pitchforks and I've shit all over your name on Twitter, Facebook, and on this show countless times, and many other people have too. Yes, I'll never forget London. I'll never forget how bad you were over these years, but now we see that life is not always greener on the other side, and I will accept fault, and I will eat crow for everything I've said about Dustin Hopkins. Dustin Hopkins, good for you, buddy. You get to go on a damn contender. You get to live in L.A. and play for an organization where you don't have to worry about the headlines each week. You found greener pastures. I apologize for you. I apologize to you for everything we put you through in your time here. And it probably wasn't you. It was probably just here, because at this point, it feels like no one can prosper here. But good for you, Dustin. You are now free of this Ashburn syndrome, DC, cursed ass organization. And you can now prosper and thrive and continue to be the great guy that you are. I apologize for everything I had to say to you. Who else are we apologizing for? Trent Williams. I apologize for how things went down and how we had to shit on your name on the way out because of how everything went with you and Brucifer. But you're on a better organization too. You know, I apologize to everyone who thought Sadiq Charles was going to be the successor to Trent Williams, because, boy, Sadiq Charles is hot garbage. He's garbage. He's a trash can. That was a waste of pick, mid-round pick. We wanted to believe that he was the true successor to Trent Williams. Not a fucking chance. And my final apology is going to go to all the fans who, like myself, drank the Kool-Aid for this season and thought that authentic change was on the precipice. We were on the horizon to finally see our karma and juju go into the direction that points north, a trajectory we've never seen here. No, sir. Washington going Washington, and right now we're staring 2-15 in the face. And yes, that sounds exaggeratory. That sounds very hyperbolic. I understand that. But right now, look that schedule in the face and tell me you see another win on it right now, because yeah, things could change after the bye, but we play the Bills. We play the Bucks after the bye. We got Goat Brady and them coming in with 2 weeks to prepare for us when we can't even beat Teddy Two Gloves goddamn Bridgewater. But let's find something positive to talk about today. Let's see ballers. Who are we going to give game balls to today? You know, I'm going to give a game ball to J.D. McKissic. Per usual, every time he touches the ball, it seems like something makes happen. He's the best running back on our team, who we wish it was Antonio Gibson, but no, sir. Antonio Gibson at this point is a little bit better than Matt Jones and Samaje Perine that runs a 4.3 and looks better in his uniform. We don't know what Antonio Gibson is, but we do know what J.D. McKissic is, and he is the second best wide receiver on the roster. Led the team in catches and receiving yards today. Absolute baller. If there's one thing Taylor can do, it's get to his check. No, it's not get to his check down. He can throw the check down because he waits way too long to get to the check down. So J.D. McKissic gets my first game ball. Anybody else on the offensive side? No, sir. Nobody else on offense gets a game ball. I'm going to give a game ball to someone that we shit on every week for his flat-footed, poor play. Landon Collins showed his ass today. He showed out. Led the team. It was up there amongst the team leaders in tackles. Had a couple tackles for a loss and a sack. He was explosive. He looks like a new individual now that he's in the linebacker room more so than the safety room. He definitely gets a game ball for me. And let's see. Anybody else get a game ball today? Well, Chase Young made a fumble late. It didn't really end up meaning shit, but he forced the fumble today. I saw Montez Sweat getting after the quarterback. The defense is better. The defense has improved over the last couple of weeks. They've gave us a chance to win games, but of course we find a way not to. So let's move on to the scrubs today. The scrubs are pretty much everyone else on the roster today. Sadiq Charles, you're definitely one of the scrubs. I've already said enough about you on this episode. We're going to move past it. Oh, let's talk about the kicker for a second. Chris Blewett. Like, sometimes God puts people on this earth and their names perfectly epitomize what they'll be in life. Chris Blewett, I'm not sure there's a more fitting name for a person that's ever existed in this world than Chris Blewett. This dude looks like he's kicking field goals with the ball laying flat on the fucking ground. He kicks the ball like that fucking Charlie Brown episode where he's trying to kick it and misses the football. That's what it looks like when Chris Blewett lines up to kick a field goal. That shit has no air under it. The ball is ready to hit the snapper on every field goal attempt. And even when he makes it, extra point or field goal, it looks like it's off. I'm going to give another apology to Dustin Hopkins. We didn't know. I will take what you lacked and bring it back if we could, but we can't. And this kicker perfectly epitomizes what this team is right now. We've blown it on so many levels. And let's talk about the coaching for a second. Ron Rivera, love the guy. I love Ron Rivera. I love what he brings. I love what he wants to instill here. I think it's time to cut the malarkey. I think it's time to cut the BS and just do what you feel. It's clear there are certain players that he has a disdain for. It's clear that there are players who are not a part of the long-term plan. It's time to make example out of more than the kicker, buddy. It's time to be aggressive because this conservative approach isn't working. The worst decision made this offseason was the decision to settle for mediocrity and a 100-year-old journeyman quarterback with 2 Jags sitting behind him. We should have attacked success and went to go get our guy via trade up, or the draft. The fact that we just sat complacently and let this dreck of a quarterback room be what we believed in for this season all falls into the lap of Ron Rivera. And for that, I will give him blame. I will not blame him for everything that I see here on the field because a lot of it to me is execution issues. But Ron not going to get a quarterback is ultimately the decision that doomed this season before we even recognized it. And the fact that we don't have one on the roster is why at the moment nothing is going to change until you get the guy in this building. I know we've been waiting all our life for the guy. It's time to push all of our cards in and go get one. So what's next? We are 2-6 coming up on our bye week midway through the season with the Bucks next on the schedule. Then we got Carolina and we got the Raiders, and then we finish the season on a division gauntlet, a divisional gauntlet. We go Dallas, Philly, New York. I mean, I don't know what I want out of this. No, I know what I want out of this season at this point. How can we end this season with hope? With hope, just the slightest bit of hope that, okay, I see the direction, the identity, and where this ship is headed when the season ends. And I feel like the only way you do that is attack success. The trade deadline is coming up on Tuesday. I don't know about you guys, but if Danny Boy can own this team through everything he's done, been accused of, and has been complicit to, then Deshaun Watson can be the quarterback of my football team. I'm sorry. If Dan Snyder can keep running amok of this organization, and we know the slime that has been done from the top of the head of the snake, then someone who hasn't had their day in court and it's just facing allegations, why the hell not? Because that may be the move that changes things. We need to take a swing, a real legitimate swing for a legit, established, ascending quarterback. Before we even turn the page to full-on scouting college quarterbacks, we need to take a shot at all the quarterbacks, great quarterbacks in situations that could be that have gone awry. So if we're not going to make a move during the deadline, the second the season ends, you call up Green Bay, you call up Seattle, you call up Las Vegas, and God damn it, you call up the Houston Texans, and you tell them, whatever you want, send me your quarterback. Because that is the only thing that's going to change things here. We can keep thinking that you can build around the quarterback and just place nameless Jag behind center and think that substantial change is coming. But I tell you, like I've told you plenty of episodes before, you are nothing without a quarterback in this league. And I rest my case on that. We lost the game to Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy Bridgewater didn't even do anything today. Their leading rusher, 47 yards. Their leading receiver, 64 yards, Tim Patrick. The defense locked this team up today, and we still lost. They gave us opportunity after opportunity after opportunity to take this game today, and we wanted no parts of it. It's frustrating because I picked us to win this game out of pure desperation, like a pure Hail Mary heave. Because I'm sitting here like I'm looking at the schedule. I have no idea if we win another game after this. So this is one of the last winnable games on the schedule. We keep saying, oh, but the Panthers, oh, but the Eagles. I've seen the Eagles score 40 points a few times this season. Are we sure we can hang with that? Because at this point, we can't hang with a team that scores 17. A team with dreck talent-wise. But we're supposed to hang, like, who the hell are we to turn our nose up at any opponent? Who are we? I don't know who we are because at this current juncture, we lack an identity. And until an identity is found, we're in the same boat, rinse, wash, repeat as before. And on that note, I'm going to conclude this episode of Rambling with Rio. I got a big week scheduled because it's a bye week. We'll find a way to make the team will find its way to make its way into the headlines because that's what they do. That's what they're elite at. We are first ballot Hall of Fame franchise at making the damn Monday morning newspaper. That's what they do. So they'll find something. But until then, I got my guy Michael Haas coming on to have some QB talk. I got Authentic in the Beard, who have one of the cleanest products podcast-wise in the YouTube game, coming on for a live stream. I got Street Scores, Rico and Ed Oliver joining me for a mid-season roundtable. And we got some eyes on our rivals with Philadelphia Eagles own from the All About the Birds network. I got my guy Chip Keegi and his wife Tila coming through to talk all things Philadelphia. And we're going to do a little Beltway check-in. I got my guy Jake Muskowski from Simple Bet coming on, and I'm going to check on how things are going for the Purple Birds of Baltimore. You know, the ones on the Beltway that actually wins game. I'm going to take a check with them and see how they're doing down there. You know, the grass is greener for these other organizations, so sometimes you just got to take a step back from what we have going on here and talk about what's going on elsewhere. So there's actually something positive to talk about. But yeah, that's what's going on Rambling with Rio for the week. I appreciate all my subscribers for tuning in. I appreciate all the comments, all the discussion, everything we get going in the chat, all the conversations we have via Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. I appreciate every single one of you. Let's keep running this channel up. But until next time, hell to the sorry-ass nameless football team. And happy Halloween to everybody out there. Deuces.